Okay, ladies, we are starting on our a cappella piece today, One Morning in May. We just finished numbering our measures. Alexis is dancing about it.
Hey.
You should have 26. You should have 26 measures when you get to the end. Remember, the first measure with the word one in it, that is not measure one. Measure one starts on the measure with the word morning in it. So make sure that you don't measure, that you don't number that very first pickup note as a measure. It's not a measure. Measure one starts on the word morning. Okay, so here we go. This song is a Virginia folk song. Now, what I want you to remember about folk songs, especially American folk songs, is that, everybody listen please, American folk songs are 100% influenced by all of the different people that moved here from elsewhere, unless they're an American Indian folk song, okay? So this folk song sounds very Irish to me, okay? Or maybe Scottish, okay? So what you have to remember is that if it sounds like that, it could very well be a song that came over from one of those other countries, and then they added new words to it when they moved here, okay? So this song, the title makes it sound like it's going to be this happy little song, doesn't it? One morning in May. Oh, May, when it's sunshiny and the birds are singing, but it's not happy.
She goes, she killed me. She goes, but it's not.
It's not. Okay, it's not happy. So let's look at the words real quick. Ready?
It's good though.
Look with me. One morning, look at the words with me. One morning, one morning, one morning in May. One morning, one morning, one morning in May. Now look at measure 9. I am a rebel soldier and far from my home. Turn page. I'll build me a castle on yonder mountain high, where wild geese can see me as they pass by, and turtle doves may hear me. Okay? And then if you keep going on the soprano line, where turtle doves may hear me so far from my home. So what is this song talking about? Elliot?
He's at war and he doesn't have any family. He's lonely.
Yes. So this probably goes back to like Revolutionary War times, right? When all of the colonies are trying to gain their independence from England, right? Because if you think about it, the colonies were here, you know, the Americans were here, but they were mostly British, former British civilians, okay, who had come over here trying to escape all the taxation and everything and all the corruption that was going on in Britain. When they came here, and then they were still being ruled by the exact same people, being taxed like crazy, and they weren't being represented the way that they wanted to be. So then they had this American Revolutionary War so that they can gain their independence from Britain, okay? And this probably happened around that time, okay? And this guy's talking about, like, I'm a rebel soldier. So if he was a rebel soldier, which side did he belong to, the British side or the American side? The American side, right? He was considered a rebel by the British, okay? And so he's talking about how he's running away and he's trying to find a new place to call home, even though he's really a long ways away from what he considers and feels in his heart is home. Kind of like for me, my home where I live is here in Rowlett, Texas, but my home and my heart is always going to be in Oklahoma where I grew up. And I think that you will experience the same thing when you become an adult. Home and your heart is always kind of where you grew up and where you spent a lot of your childhood. And for me, that was up in northeast Oklahoma, where we actually got snow and the leaves actually changed colors in the fall and all of those kinds of things. And then I moved here, and it's technically my home, but I still think of Oklahoma as like home. Does that make sense? And so for those people that immigrated over here, I'm sure they felt the same way. Like maybe Ireland or Scotland or England was home. It's where they grew up. It's where they spent their childhood. But they've come over to this new land for a better life, And while it's technically their home, their heart, home is still overseas. And I'm sure that it felt very lonely and scary, you know, to them. So that's what this song, it sounds like it's gonna be this happy, like skippity, one morning is made, okay?
She said, no.
So, I'm gonna sing a little bit of this for you, okay? Just so you can kind of get an introduction to what this sounds like, okay? Starting on that alto line. A lot of this is in round, like row, row, row your boat, row. We're gonna sing in round. Okay, here we go. It sounds like this. One morning, one morning, one morning in May, my heart was on the mountain. I'm doing a terrible job. One morning, one morning, one morning in May, I built me a castle on yonder mountain high. Here's the next part. Where wild geese can see me as they pass by, and turtle doves may hear me so far from my home. So it's in a minor key, and then you hear little hints of Irish or Scottish influence, and especially in things like measure 25 in this rhythm right here. So hear me so far from. It's a very, very Irish Scots influence right there, that rhythm. Okay, so let's go back. Everybody just sing one morning. The very first line that the altos sing. So everybody looking at the alto line. Everybody with me? 1, 2, 3. One morning, good, you got one more time. 1, 2, go. Excellent. Now I am currently working on making part learning tracks for you guys for all of your songs. They're going to be posted in Canvas very soon. I got all the recordings from Miss Camp so that I can start doing that. So this is going to be one of the first songs that I post. Is part learning on this one. So check that out. I'm hoping to have those done by the middle of next week, like completely done. Okay?